Bassbreaker. Explore the dark side with the new all-tube 9-piece electric guitar amplifier series, full of endless grit, growl, and Fender DNA with a twist. A new breed of sound that words simply can't describe.
Sorry, I thought you were going to start talking, but then you had some coffee, so
Sorry about that.
I had to,
Sorry about that.
stall.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live.
We're live from the storeroom with another storeroom review.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are taking a closer look at this guy, the long-awaited, highly anticipated Bassbreaker. And
Bassbreaker 007.
this particular one is the Bassbreaker 007, as Joe rightly points out. So, Bassbreaker, what is it? What's it all about?
As far as I know, you probably know more than me because you're more into amps than I am, but this is like a Fender style amp with like a Fender preamp with more of a British power amp with EL34 tubes as opposed to 6L6s.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, no, that's almost there, almost there. This particular one is EL84s, but the idea is right. The Bassbreaker concept is taking it right back to the 50s, as you might be able to see from the lovely finish. It's the evil cousin to Fender's history as we know it. So it's taking it back and imagining a world where Fender, instead of doing what they did and making sparkly, lovely, clean, pristine amps, and some great drive amps as well, but taking it on a different tangent that certain other brands have maybe explored, shall we say. So yeah, this is the evil dark twin to everything we know about Fender.
Right.
You can see it's got the early 50s Fender logo on the front and a really nice kind of black grey tweed finish.
That won't get dirty, will it?
It won't. It won't. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to know the story that basically back in the day, sort of late 50s, early 60s, Fender were the dominant brand for guitar amplification. And a Bassbreaker, no, not Bassbreaker, what's it called? A Bassman. The good old Bassman found its way into the hands of one Jim Marshall. He took a look at it and basically built one for himself and started manufacturing them with British parts and with a few tweaks and things, and thus the JTM 45 was born and Marshall was born, and so on. So
the rest, as they say,
is history. So Fender have said, you know, well, how about we go back to that time and we make an amp that is our take on that kind of higher gain British sounding thing. Thus Bassbreaker. I guess the name kind of gives the clue. It's a little bit like the JTM 45 Blues Breaker meets Bassman.
Yep.
So the 007 is a 7-watt Class A all-valve amp with 12AX7s in the preamp and EL84s in the power stage. And then it has some bigger brothers as well, which unfortunately we don't have here today because the demand is just too high at the moment.
And they're too loud anyway. Too loud guys, for this.
Yeah, for us in the storeroom. There's a 15-watt. There's a kind of a 2-in-1 amp, which is an 18/30 watt amp.
The switchable power stage.
It's got different channels at different wattages.
Right.
So you can kind of run like a low headroom channel and a high headroom channel.
Okay. Get
two different sounds. And then there's a big ass 45 watt combo, much like a traditional Bassman. They're priced at a sort of mid to low end, I think, actually. They're competing basically with the existing Hot Rod series. So if you've got a Blues Junior or Hot Rod Deluxe or a DeVille or something like that, you could probably find the equivalent Bassbreaker amp that will sit alongside it. And actually I think the pricing is just underneath them. So really, really keen on the pricing and stonking value, which is making me think I need to have one of these to go alongside a Blues Junior or something. So you've got the traditional Fender thing and the Marshall thing. But anyway, straightforward layout, as you can see, gain, usual EQ controls, master, no reverb on this, much like Marshalls of that time as well. You're not going to find reverb on a gainy amp. Treble boost, so you can push it a little bit harder and get some nice crunch sounds out of it, and a white LED. I like that, I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, should we take a listen?
Let's take a listen.
Let's take a listen. Fire it up. classic.
Classic sound, isn't it?
Classic.
What does it sound like if we take the boost off and not give it all the welly?
Nice. Still kind of Fendery.
What sound?
Yeah, it's got that sparkly, a little bit Fendery, but then when you wind it up, that really kicks in, doesn't it? Thicker sounding. Nice. What does it sound like with the old SG?
The old buckers. Free frame of mind today.
We are. Well, I think it's got that sound.
It's got that sound,
like
isn't it?
Early 60s when
that thick kind of
really natural sounding
cough-offy
distortion.
sound, isn't it?
It has. Get the old boost on.
It's got a bite and a snap to it, hasn't it? Like a plexi or something.
I think the nice thing, particularly about this one, being 7 watts, is you can really crack. I mean, we're not particularly loud in here, and it's cooking.
You get the power out of it.
Yeah, the power amp, but it still sounds big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a really good bass response on this.
Wow.
Really good bass response.
Just see what difference that makes. That's your. Turn the boost on. Makes a lot of difference, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, I think because it's not got a channel switcher, this is definitely going to be one for guys who like pedals. You could set it up with one sound and then use pedals with it, or like I'm thinking, if you're gonna maybe use it in a 2 amp setup because of its price, you could have like a clean amp and then this guy as your main like drive sound. It just sounds really classic. So yeah, obviously we've got the Strat, we've got the SG. We have a wild card with us today because it was in the shop and we've been enjoying it so much. We thought we'd bring it in and see how it sounds with the Bassbreaker. Ready?
Yeah.
Are you feeling magic? Yeah.
Hang on.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes, it worked. PRS baritone. I'm loving this marriage of like uber modern with old school banging out the old riffs. There we go.
Impressive, aggressive.
Impressive. What is this? This is like a 10-inch speaker,
I think so.
and it is holding its own. We're tuned in B standard with this beast, and it's sounding huge, isn't it? I mean, if you could definitely mic that up and play a heavy metal festival, and people would not know. Anyway, I need the strap back. You ready? You feeling magic?
I'm feeling magic.
Should we do it? 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice.
It's good to have it back.
It's good to be back. Another feature that I should mention, because it's something that is really cool to find on a valve amp, is a line out, which we are plugged in with today. As you can see, we're miking from the front, but we've got a feed going straight to the interface. It's just a 1/4-inch jack, so it's really easy just to integrate into a home recording setup. So as we play a few bits, or you'll just get to hear the difference. So you could use that line out, or you could use the mic, blend the two. I think the EQ controls are pretty powerful in this, aren't they? If you just bash out some open chords, if I just move these around, they seem more powerful than
Big sweep.
It seems to be more powerful than like the traditional hot rod stuff.
Yeah.
I know from like the Blues Juniors and the hot rod DeVilles and things like that, they're already quite nicely tuned. So even if you go like that, there's not a huge amount of scope on them. So this is
More
quite
of a
cool.
refinement. Was this is definitely more of an actual. You can completely shape the sound.
I think you need that though when you've got more gain.
Yeah.
Because like with these two guitars, when we jump between the Strat and the SG, this is obviously quite bright, so it's handy to be able to roll off the treble and stuff. And the SG is fuller. Almost does that kind of plexi thing as well, doesn't it?
It's got the snap and the bite.
It's got that,
to it.
especially with
Crisp
kind of lower output pickup.
You know you're not allowed to play that. You know you're not allowed to play that. It's the unspoken rule.
I know,
of
it's
guitar
not.
shops.
At least I didn't go. Oh! There we go then, guys. That's an in-depth, or a slightly in-depth look at the Bassbreaker 007. Be sure to check out the rest of the range. Leave some comments if there's anything else you want to see in these videos. Like we've said before, we're doing them regularly now, so we always like to hear your feedback. Check us out on Facebook. You can search Absolute Music. Absolute.
It is 007. You can do it. You can do.
Ah, Sean. Cheers then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Joe, you didn't say goodbye.
Bye then. I nod and a wave. I'm more subtle. You have to say all this stuff. That's me.